The Hearthstone Masters Tour made its way to the shining Blood Elf capital of Silvermoon for one weekend of thrilling virtual card game action. More than 300 players prepared their decks for the $250,000 tournament, and through some incredibly challenging board states, one skilled individual reigned victorious by the skin of his teeth. Not many players saw China's Jiuqianyu as a threat in the online competition. Coming prepared with his Brute Demon Hunter, Miracle Rogue, Quest Shaman, and Quest Warlock, Jiuqianyu was able to defeat his hometown rival Brox in a stunning Game 5 tiebreaker.
Fury, hey, that'll do. Acrobatics, glide, it all would have done it. Brute just cheering him on from the sidelines as it ends as his cheerleader, as he goes 2-0 up. A player that before this tournament I'd never heard of before. Like most of these Chinese players.
It was almost a quarterfinals clean sweep for Jiuqianyu, but Brox came back in the following two games. His journey through the bracket was almost over, but with a turn 8 totemic reflections off the back of a guidance, Jiuqianyu was able to seal the deal and move on to the semis. No stranger to the 2021 Hearthstone Masters Tour, Royal Never Give Up's Leo was the next to challenge Jiuqianyu for the Silvermoon crown. He made that evident as his Il'gynoth came alive on turn 9, sapping 36 points of health off Jiuqianyu in a single turn.
Really wanted it right.
Things went from bad to worse for Jiuqianyu in an extremely close game too. A few bleeds from Leo's deck finished off an already critically damaged Quest Warlock.
Nicely done. Didn't panic. He could have lost there, but I think the burned hand of Gul'dan was a big deal in the middle of that. Sure. Because it meant that this pop-off turn was 8 damage short. I didn't see if he could have...
With all his decks still on the table, Jiuqianyu pulled off the near impossible. Leo's Quest Shaman fell to the wrath of the Chinese player 3 times in a row. This 3-game comeback sent Jiuqianyu straight to the online event's grand final, where players were about to witness one of the closest matchups on the tour. Jiuqianyu's final opponent would be French card game extraordinaire AyRok, who was in pursuit of the Silvermoon title with his Face Hunter, Aggro Rogue, Quest Warlock, and Quest Mage decks. In a similar fashion to his win in the semifinals, Jiuqianyu shuffled several bleeds into his deck and began to forcefully draw them. Cutting 4 health off AyRok for every card drawn, the Frenchman's health pool dropped in seconds. Game 1 went to Jiuqianyu. The second game was a story of quests, as Jiuqianyu's Warlock and AyRok's Mage went head-to-head. The game was over in the blink of an eye. By turn 6, Jiuqianyu's quest had been completed. He began dealing a massive amount of damage to himself and his minions, which was passed on to AyRok. Jiuqianyu had found his second win in the Silvermoon Grand Finals. With his opponent at tournament point, AyRok needed this win. Defeating Jiuqianyu's Quest Shaman was the mission. Once Sorcerer's Gambit was completed, AyRok shifted his spell casting into overdrive and pelted his opponent with face damage. The rope was burning quickly as he drew the spells he needed from his deck one after another.
The only thing he is a little bit low on is time as this rope burns out. With still an entire cram session left to throw out here.
Yeah, not impressed with himself. I'd love him to get back into Grandmasters. I've got to admit my bias here. He's such a character. Yeah, gets it done.
With one win in the bag, AyRok began to look confident. His Quest Warlock would be the deck of choice to find another victory against Jiuqianyu. The marathon game saw Jiuqianyu rely heavily on his spells to clear the board and draw. AyRok shut this down in a crafty way by playing 2 Cult Neophytes, drastically increasing the mana cost of Jiuqianyu's spells next turn. With limited options, Jiuqianyu could not play his Brewcon. AyRok's Battleground Battlemaster took care of business as Jiuqianyu took a lethal 24 damage to the face, tying the grand final at 2 games aside. Quest Shaman versus Face Hunter. The final game of the tournament kicked off in style as AyRok mounted an early board presence.
Ship the 1-1 rush.
The amount of damage AyRok was dealing to Jiuqianyu's face was immense. The Frenchman maintained full control as things started to look dire for the Shaman player.
Now Slugger in hand. We've seen one.
Gryphon finally came out to play, and with a little board clear, AyRok lost his advantage. With limited options by turn 10, AyRok had to go to face. It was at this point the only way for him to win the game and take the Silvermoon throne. With a single point of health remaining on his opponent, there was no way the Frenchman was going to lose the Masters Tour Grand Final. But then, the unthinkable happened.
6 from Bolt, 9 from the Minion, 2 from the Overdraft with the overloaded crystals is gonna be exact, lethal, and with a slap and a punch to his own head, Jiuqianyu is gonna be your Masters Tour Silvermoon champion.
A one-turn recovery fit for a Hearthstone Masters champion. Jiuqianyu landed the perfect sequence of cards to claim the major event crown. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with the amazing esport content from around the gaming globe. Only on Unbeaten Esports.